Rastafari blessings. This is Rastas, Dr. Jazanai Kush. I am the owner, the proprietor of Lalabella Institute, and I'm very glad to be a part of the Lion's Voice. The time has come for the lionesses to tell our own stories, and this is the Lion's Voice.
Well, millions of Africans were stolen and taken in bondage and suffered terrible acts of terrorism. Well, millions of Africans were stolen and taken in bondage and suffered terrible acts of terrorism. Well, it's best that we leave out S, living in this life full of stress. Can't you see the
Today's episode, we're going to return to the Rastafari man standard. That's the content that the people them seem to gravitate to. So we're going to continue to give content in that vein here on the Lion Voice platform. Today's episode, we're going to talk about setting goals and we're going to talk about vulnerability. These are the aspects of manhood, and in particular the Rastafari man standard that we want to talk about today. And in vulnerability, we're talking about opening yourself to criticism, because anytime you set a goal, anytime you step out there and you're doing anything in the public eye, you have to have a degree of vulnerability. And I do believe this is one of the things that is holding enough of our brethren from their greatness and from achieving their divine destiny. Worried about external criticism, worrying about what others are going to say, or tired of what others are saying, and not therefore just stepping into your destiny. This is so crucial, because if we look at every great man in history, we see that they face opposition. Look at His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie I, which we use on this channel as the apex exemplar. He was opposed by the Orthodox Church on some of his reforms. He was opposed by the nobles, of which he was part of that class, on some of his reforms. He was opposed by the students on some of his reforms. He was opposed by his own tribe or his own base of support on some of his reforms. So regardless of what you think, there's going to be opposition once you're making movements, once you're moving the needle on creation, once you're stepping in your purpose. We don't talk about these things enough, and so it's very crucial. We give thanks today. We're going to look at a speech of His Majesty that he gave to the Naval College, where he talks about setting goals and achieving goals and how we deal with it within this liberty. I want to read His Majesty's speech to the Naval Academy about goal setting, and we're going to use this as the focal point of this episode. So, His Majesty says, this is commissioning naval officers, but the attainment of any one goal is never more than a temporary achievement. A mountaintop reach, beyond, on the far slope, there are new lands to explore and new peaks to scale. As each goal along life's path is reached, new vistas open before us, and new challenges are made. It is indeed an immutable law of life that man's striving can never end. That to pause on life's struggle is to slip back along the road to progress. Man is born in sorrow, and of the sweat of his brow must he earn his bread. So, I'm a Gideon. So for the brethren, again bringing it forward to the Rastafari man standard, we don't have no luxury. You reach a goal, me reach monetization, which was a goal, and me sit down and fold up my hand them. No. This is extremely important even for I right now, because as many of you know, who follow the community posts, who have been tuning in on the other parts of the ecosystem, we have achieved a major goal on the Lion Voice Network platform. What am I talking about? We have monetized the YouTube channel. So you heard if you go forward in the episodes, I keep talking about we're working toward monetization. For YouTube, the standard for monetization is 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. The 1,000 subscribers is a lot easier to get than the 4,000 watch hours. That means people have to sit down and watch your content 4,000 hours. That's not no small amount of hours, brethren and sisters. So we give thanks. We have achieved both of these milestones, and so the channel is monetized. What does that mean? It means that you'll start seeing ads with some of the content. So, just be patient, give thanks. We are participating in the Google AdSense program. So there is going to be some inconvenience. So I just want to tell the Lion Pride on Patreon, just be patient with I. You watch, this happens across YouTube, but it's a good thing in the context of the channel, because it means that we're able to monetize, we're able to grow the platform to hopefully where it will be able to invest. And again, our goal is to create a production studio in Ghana, West Africa. So this is just the beginning, and we're taking you along on that journey. For those who are curious, so far we've generated $1.17 in revenue. So anybody want a sweetie? Me can look and big up my chest and say, hey, you want a sweetie? But me can't give it to you yet, because they don't disperse until you go over the threshold of $100. But I want to share, because I think a lot of I should be establishing YouTube platforms or other platforms, again, because the time has come for the Lions to tell our own story. And that doesn't mean just the Lion Voice Network. That's why we started Lion Talk and Lion Talk Live, because we want to hear from other lions as well. So I'm encouraging brethren, particularly brethren over 40, who have a lot to share. We need this wellspring of knowledge for the youths. And I want to big up Sian, my latest patron from the Lion Pride on Patreon. He came to a association, a Rastafari creatives meeting, find out that the brethren is only 19 years old. So he's a young brethren seeking the knowledge and very active within the Patreon. So I want to salute my brother, for supporting the platform. And the brethren is getting value, and we don't have a Jegna system. And for those who don't know, we don't say mentor because of the Greek connotation. In the Greek system, the mentor used to sleep with the young boys and all of them things. So we dash with that. We look at Ethiopia and we look at what they call, and it's a Jegna. So in terms of our tradition, we say Jegna. So the brethren is able to tap I brain about things that he's interested in, and I gladly can share. But what I'm saying is that we need this on a massive scale. Our elders, a lot of them are no longer with us, and those who are not the most accessible. They're not online, they're not blocking word sound in a way where it's available globally for those who are seeking. So those of I who have been chatting, this is the time for us to establish these platforms. And I'm going to share the journey and how I build my creative ecosystem. I'm literally building it while we're flying. So as we're building the platform, we're actually documenting it. If you go to the website, you can download the creative ecosystem model, and even that model we're getting ready to update it, because when we did it, that was the beginning, and now we've added components as we're living it. We're tweaking it, we're seeing, we're gonna have an entire toolkit available for those who want to map out their ecosystem, just to help you, prompt you to be able to really curate. And again, my passion is to see I as Rastafari brethren establish the economic base necessary for us to really rise our community to the next level of building the alternative to Babylon, the building of Zion. You can go to the repatriation playlist and you will see the activities that I personally am engaged in Ghana with the KWASI project and other initiatives, purchasing of my own land on the continent, and these kind of things. So we're not here just running our mouth, because we know mouth make for talk.
Well, millions of Africans were stolen and taken in bondage and suffered terrible acts of terrorism. Well, millions of Africans were stolen and taken in bondage and suffered terrible acts of terrorism. Well, it's best that we leave out S, living in this life full of stress. Can't you see the government couldn't care less? Work every day, can't see no progress. So it's best that we leave out the rest, living in this life full of stress. Can't you see the government couldn't care less? Work every day, can't see no progress. See them slave for paychecks. Work every day, grow old from the stress that pays. They're getting cold in the west. Remember we were bought and sold for gold out in the west. I check in my history and I see the sweat from our back to them country. Black people hungry still for the money. Them a robber, them a steal. Funny cause the slave have to face $100 bill for him. Y'all can act like it ain't a big deal, but I got to stand for the black. Color of my skin could have never changed that. No, the slave master thought y'all never talk back, but I must be back. I see them on the war with Iraq, and my people them dying from the ears and crack. They lack basic things that they need, so they chase the Benjamins, living like second class citizens. Time to look within. Haile, Selassie, King of Kings, and Ethiopia there from the beginning. Well, ancient memories as it was, miss the soul of the queen that really so it's best that we leave out the rest, living in this life full of stress. Can't you see the government couldn't care less? Work every day, can't see no progress. So it's best that we leave out the rest, living in this life full of stress. Can't you see the government couldn't care less? Work every day, they still come to a rest.
The shores, beautiful faces, take me to the Niger to behold creation. Look at the lions and tigers. Mother Africa, so majestically attired. Crown from her head to her toe with gold and sapphire, platinum, copper, rubber, and manganese. Try to anciently along the ancient seas. Under the blue now, fall sipping my ancient trees. Bathing in the hot springs, putting the structure at ease. Life is hell in the west, it's full time we all leave. $10 for a spliff, what's this? I'll be up in the garden cultivating my own dish. It's gonna be a beautiful thing to witness. 50 acres, growing up in East District. Yo,
You going to Africa?
shouldn't even be asking me, cause I'm fed up of these colonizers taxing me. I see visions of Africa coming back to me, so it's time to move forward. Free the captives with these verses and chorus. Burn politicians, cause not one of them is for us. And yo, it's time for us to yell up to Mount Zion, the door is open before us.
So it's best that we leave out the rest.